Let's do this. Welcome one, welcome all to a rant by Ol Junkshop from the Junkshop Library channel. This one doesn't really fit into any of the existing projects because it's not the kind of thing I normally talk about. So the devil with it, I'm going to put it on them anyway. I am going to give you a moment to consider the fact that while I always try to remember to warn about strong language and adult content, I'm starting off with that out of the gate and give you a moment to get the volume down, get the kids out of the room, or get yourself a happier little podcast to listen to. Toot sweet. All right, so some of y'all may remember a little while ago I released a speech in various formats just before the election back in November, called A Plea to Protest Voters, in which I besought anyone and everyone who was considering voting for the Republican candidate for president of the United States of America, rather than the Democratic one, or considering voting for anybody else, or abstaining, anyone who wasn't really sold on the idea of everything that Kamala had put forward as a policy proposal, people who were just kind of mad at Biden and taking it out on everybody. A plea to protest voters was what I released. And nobody listened to me. And as you may know, if you live on planet Earth and have access to, electricity and or printed matter, instead of voting for the career civil servant, an alarming number of Americans voted instead for the adjudicated sex offender and defamer and 34 times over convicted felon, who bragged about sexual assault multiple election cycles ago, who hasn't paid taxes in Christ knows how long, who regularly fearmongers to the exclusion of that he does anything else at all, and who confirmed on multiple occasions, despite being given outs of the statement by even some of his most devoted sycophants and toadies, that he would be a dictator on day one. Now, little did we know that he has as poor a grasp of tense in the English language as he does grammar in the spoken word. It's called the weave. When he said be a dictator on day one, he meant from day one, and he has proceeded to act like nothing else ever since. Well, why is this news? Well, it's not. Everybody fucking knows this, but it's time we take a hard look at what his mouthpiece said yesterday. His hand-picked, shriekingly loyal White House press secretary, who did her best to absolve him of rumors that he was considering deporting American citizens and not just people he believes to be Venezuelan gang members to the notorious 2 cubic feet of living space per person hard labor prison in El Salvador that multiple human rights organizations characterize as one of the worst of its kind on the planet. American citizens. Now, he tried to walk that back, and she tried to throw up a smokescreen to cover for that by saying that what they were talking about was violent criminals, terrorists and such, and that he was only considering doing that if it could be confirmed that it was legal. Well, there's 2 issues with that. First of all, he considers spray painting a Tesla to be a violent act of terrorism, which he characterizes as being worth a 20-year prison sentence. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't think of much you could spray paint that seems like it ought to come with a 25-year prison, 20-year prison sentence. Air traffic control tower windows, maybe. But even if that were thing, one does, traditionally serve one's prison sentence in a prison in, or at the very least, operated by the country in which one resides and is a citizen of. And I was giving somebody else shit about grammar a minute ago. I fucking know. And is, so that's the first little clutch of things. The second little thing is their insistence that he meant only if he can confirm that it's legal. The 34 times convicted felon, the adjudicated defamer and sexual assaulter is suddenly very concerned with whether deporting American citizens to foreign torture prisons for spray paint offenses. He's very concerned that he find out that that's legal. In terms of flimsy cover-ups, this is up there with, like, walking alongside Lady Godiva with a sheet of plexiglass held up so that nobody can see her because there's a wall in the way. All right? That's not to mention the fact that he fucking lies. What was it, 20,000 something documented, established lies, falsehoods, prevarications he told that we know of during his first term? His first term as opposed to his current one. I cannot fucking believe we're having to deal with this shit again. Because now he's a lame duck, and for all of his talk of having a third term, only if it's legal, of course, see above. Now he can just do whatever the fuck he wants, because at the speed of legislation, he will be quietly dead of old age in 2 decades before anything actually gets done or said or put in writing about it. So, what do we do? Well, there's nothing we can do because it's in the hands of the legislature. And everybody who's not shamelessly kowtowing and jostling in line to be the first to lick his boot is just fucking sitting there. With a couple of notable exceptions, Bernie's out there raising hell, raising Cain, raising funds. AOC, the same. A couple of others. Booker's going to lose his voice entirely by the time 2024 is over, if this kind of thing keeps on happening. I don't fucking understand how anybody... I was not wild about Kamala Harris. I was not wild about her, every aspect of her platform or her record. But I recognize the difference between not being wild about something and the other one being a clear, present, and explicitly stated, self-defined threat to our way of life and world stability. The man fucking said he was going to be a goddamn dictator on day one. And then he went and fucking did it. Did I do a bit about the tiger already? I'm hot. I can't remember. He said he was going to be a dictator on day one. He acted like a dictator on day one. Everybody was all surprised that he turned out to have told the truth, apparently for the first time in his entire motherfucking goddamn scum-sucking existence. And then, like a tiger that has tasted man, he continued. He is gearing up for atrocities. He ran on talking points that were just far enough removed from the Project 2025 literal verbiage to where he could wave a sheet of construction paper with plausible deniability misspelt and scrawled on it in white paint marker, and everybody could sort of accept it with exactly the spirit in which it was intended and offered. And now here we are. The SAVE Act has passed. All of a sudden, the one person, one vote now essentially waves married women who have changed their name off into the sunset and or the kitchen. The President of the United States is floating the idea of deporting his own citizens to a torture prison in a foreign country and is joking about it on the social media platform that he owns. And the world's richest psychopath is joking about it and supporting it on the social media platform that he owns. It's fucking goddamn insane, and it's infuriating. Because there's nothing to be done. There's nothing we can do. Like the average there's nothing we can do. What are we going to do? All of a sudden, pack up and move. People, we had this problem a while ago. Nowhere we can go will take us. The bulk of us, most of us are average, and as such are not highly skilled and in demand. But it's becoming increasingly terrifying to stay here, where legislators are practicing medicine without a license, where the fucking culture wars have reached absolutely boiling points over manufactured talking points that nobody gave a shit about until somebody decided it was a good way to stir up the craziest, angriest, and least educated corners of the country and get them to vote against their own best interests by saying, hey, look over there. It's like that cartoon of the guy with 98 cookies and the guy with 1 cookie and the guy with no cookies, and the guy with 98 is pointing at the guy with no cookies and says to the guy with 1, he wants your cookie. We are long past the frog in the boiling pot. We are at a rolling boil, bobbing about, and there's a spray-tanned menace who is spending his time, rather than trying to do something to actually help the country is signing executive orders regarding shower heads and talking about how beautiful his hair is. Sir, get a life. Get a mirror. Don't just walk into a blank black room hung with plastic and have Stephen Miller whisper from the corner, barely audible over the hum of a dental drill, "You look beautiful, my age." The man is evil. He has surrounded himself by evil. He was forged in the fires of evil by Roy fucking Cohn. And that was decades ago. And he's only stiffened and putrefied and gotten worse ever since. He's an uneducated bumpkin. He just happens to have had money at one time and been able to hoodwink everybody into thinking he was still so very rich. You've seen the pictures of that bathroom where he stored the stolen nuclear secrets and shit. You know, the ones that Jared didn't allegedly sell to the Saudis. That is not an environment cultivated by someone who has money. That is an environment cultivated by a fucking bumpkin who has a bumpkin's idea of what rich people think rich people like. Fucking scream. Everything about... I know we're not supposed to be doing Orange Man bad, but my God, he's a fucking fascist. He's doing a fascism right in front of us every day, bragging and joking about it online. It's fucking ridiculous. There's no... And what can we do about it? Yeah, we can vote when the next election comes around for Senate persons and county clerks and local judges and stuff, assuming we're still allowed to at that point. If you vote for me in November, you'll never have to worry about voting again, remember? Said the guy who also said, "I will be a dictator on day one." Not renowned for their fondness of free and fair elections are self-identified dictators. When they tell you who they are, believe them! Christ Jesus, I don't fucking believe I'm having to do this. Can't believe we're all having to do this. Many more articulate people than I. Trust me, that's most of them. You can't... Let's talk linguistics for a second, okay? You can't deport your own citizens to another country without due process or trial or formal charges. That's not what deporting means. And when you've hand-selected one of the worst prisons in the world, and you joke about its conditions online, it becomes painfully obvious that you are not doing this for justice. You are doing this as an intimidation tactic. He's a fucking bully. He's always been a bully. Everyone who's ever met him has in some way or another characterized him as a bully. He's a bad person. The man is evil. He is a fascist. He can't spell it, or he would use the word. But he is demonstrating with every action he takes his fascistic tendencies. And he's an imbecile on top of that. He's not even good at anything. being puppeteered by an illegal immigrant and all stressed the fuck out over everybody else. Physician, heal thyself. God damn. Maybe if we get Elon Musk mad enough, he'll deport him. Remove him to some foreign country with no due process. See how much he likes it and thinks it's a good idea. Then assure him you consulted the top scholars in their field and they assured you it was very, very legal. And also your hair is beautiful and good. I'm so tired and I am so angry. And I am so angry about the fact that I am this tired. And I am so fucking tired of being this angry. And it's just stewing rage because there's nowhere to put it. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do with it. Yeah, we can march. They'll probably drone strike the next one. Fuck. I may not even fucking post this. I haven't decided. I just needed to get it off my chest, and I have been fuming. I don't understand. So many millions of people voted for this fuck nugget. And so many millions of them continue to stand by him. How? Why? What has he done for you lately? Mr. The prices at the grocery aisle will come down on day one, turn around a week later, and explicitly said to the nation, you know I can't actually do that, right? And everybody's still holding him to the first statement and saying, I'm sure he'll get around to it eventually. Yeah. And Jesus is coming back with that pack of smokes any minute, too. You can stop holding your breath. Fool. I know some of these people personally in real life. I don't understand how people who are smart in some ways can be so willfully blind to the facts of reality at the same time. I'm just repeating myself. I'm fucking furious. And I'm terrified. He's talking about deporting citizens to foreign torture prisons without due process, but only if it's legal and they have a violent criminal record, and he considers spray painting a car a violent terrorist act. You can extrapolate from this. He is not a subtle fucking man. Write your senators. Vote. Do not vote for this man or anyone he endorses. Just fucking don't. It will not go anywhere good. And if he tries to stand for election again, if the country and the goddamn environment survives long enough that we still have a habitable planet in 3 years' time, 3.75 years' time, don't you fucking vote for him. Don't fucking do it. Stay safe out there, y'all. My hand's shaking. Remember to take your blood pressure meds. Find out if you might need them now, even if you didn't at your last physical.